There's a story circulating online about a 17-year-old boy who took the lives of two 17-year-old girls. Now, many are saying he was a Charlie Kirk fan who killed them because they made fun of Charlie Kirk's death. At least that's the popular narrative. Many leftists are also saying that this is the political violence that Republicans and Trump voters don't want to talk about. So today we're going to find out if this story is actually true, and of course, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Alright guys, we're going to get straight into today's topic. We're going to be talking about 17-year-old Vincent Badaloro, who took the lives of Maria Niotis and Isabella Salas. Now these are two 17-year-old girls, and Vincent is a 17-year-old boy himself, and he seems to have quite a history with at least one of these individuals, Maria Niotis. Now as I said before, the popular narrative online is that he was a Charlie Kirk fan who took the lives of these two 17-year-old girls because they made fun of Charlie Kirk's death. I'm going to show you some tweets and some references here. Pamphlets on X says, breaking, Charlie Kirk fans stalked and brutally murdered two girls for, quote, talking shit, end quote, about Charlie Kirk. Occupy Democrats posts, breaking, Charlie Kirk fan murders two teen girls in horrific attack after one of them criticized Charlie Kirk. While Trump and the right-wing propaganda machine have been demonizing Democrats and falsely smearing them for committing violence, once again it is a right-winger who is taking innocent people's lives over their political beliefs. Maria Niotis and Isabel Salas, both 17-year-olds, were struck and killed in a hit-and-run vehicular homicide by another teen identified by local media as Vincent Badaloro. Now I'm going to read you some of the quote tweets that really made me want to delve into this story because people were calling out Republicans and Trump voters saying that nobody wants to talk about this. Denisha Carter writes, no Republicans talking about this. I wonder why. Dr. Allison Wiltz writes, this is the political violence they don't want to talk about. First and foremost, before we even get into this story, I condemn all forms of political violence. If one is motivated by left-leaning ideology or right-leaning ideology, it makes no difference to me. Of course, we always do want to look into the motives behind these attacks, so we gather more information, we see what both the victims and the suspects have been involved in, and if we find any information that leads us to believe that this person killed these two girls because of Charlie Kirk's death and because of their response to it, we'll most certainly display that in this video. It's not okay when the left does it, and it's not okay when the right does it. And if you're on a side politically and you feel like you can't call out that side when acts of political violence are carried out in the name of that particular ideology, then you have a problem and you probably need to do some internal work, some introspection. But as we get into the story, I'm going to turn to Inside Edition and we'll hear the news regarding this double homicide.
70 miles per hour. That's how fast cops say a 17-year-old was driving when he mowed down two teen girls riding on an e-bike. Now, video has surfaced of the suspect shortly after the crash, laughing on a gaming site.
It's the creepy laugh of an accused killer. We're learning new information about 17-year-old Vincent Badaloro, accused of intentionally slamming his Jeep into two best friends as they rode an e-bike. According to just-released court papers, police say he was driving 70 miles an hour when he plowed into 17-year-olds Maria Niotis and Isabella Salas. We found this video of Badaloro on a gaming site talking about pranking Maria by sending a pizza to her house. She reportedly had spurned his advances and had filed for a restraining order against him.
Hi, can I place an order for delivery, please? Can I get 2 large pepperoni pizzas? It'll be cash at the door.
He then lets out that demonic laugh. He tells viewers it's all because allegedly Maria had made fun of Charlie Kirk.
Whenever Maria sees the pizza guy come, better think of Charlie Kirk for making fun of his death. Stupid clown.
A fellow gamer asks if he'll drive to Maria's house to watch the pizza be delivered.
Oh, I did that the last time, but the mother saw me pull up in the car, and I got tracked, and the police, did what they did.
Badaloro made the video 9 days ago. On Monday, when the two girls were killed, police say Badaloro fled the scene before they found and detained him and issued him an astonishing 15 tickets. But he was not arrested because he claimed it was an accident. The next day, Badaloro went online to express his condolences.
In a neighboring town, unfortunately, 2 girls were killed in a hit-and-run crash. I wish my sincerest condolences.
On Wednesday, after police discovered his connections to Maria Niotis, he was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Last night, Maria's mother spoke out.
She wasn't just my daughter. She was my best friend.
my sunshine.
So there you have it. And if you're hearing this story and you're thinking there's more layers here than just somebody being a Charlie Kirk fan and killing, two girls because one of them made fun of Charlie Kirk, if you're thinking that doesn't seem to be the full story, we're seeing now that is in fact not the full story. In fact, when I looked into this, the only reference I could see to Charlie Kirk was when he sent those pizzas to her door, which, mind you, the news even says this was something he had done before. He even says this is something he had done before, sending pizzas to her door and saying they're going to pay in cash as some sort of prank, but also to keep tabs on this young girl. And even in reference to that particular incident with the pizzas, we find more facts. Now I'm going to read you the quote that he says in reference to Charlie Kirk. He says, "Hey, whenever Maria sees the pizza guy come, better think of Charlie Kirk for making fun of his fucking death. Stupid ass clown. Just remember that." He goes on to say she made fun of Charlie Kirk's death on TikTok on a repost. Maybe her mother should monitor her social media activity. But even when you go to read other articles about this, you'll find there are other details. He says, quote, "I think Maria's hungry. I think we're going to send her 2 pizzas. So you all know I have a vengeance against this girl for accusing me of sending porn and shit. I'm going to call a pizza to her house." He goes on to make fun of Maria's mother's name, calling it a stupid name, and accused her of reporting the porn that he had allegedly sent Maria. He says, "So Fooley made a bad decision making a bad name of myself. You made a bad decision having this girl return to that school without me being there." And I don't know exactly what he's referencing with that quote about having her return to school without him being there, but it seems as though he was stalking this girl over months and months. And this is confirmed by news reports. It's confirmed by the family that says that he's been stalking her and plotting this against her for months on end. As you can see, he even references himself being accused of sending her porn. The news also reports that she had spurned his advances, meaning that he was interested in her, not just attacking her based off of political ideology. The family of Maria also knew what this guy was doing. They had reported him to law enforcement, and they had actually filed a restraining order against him due to his actions. And I'll read you a quote here actually from NJ Spotlight News that says the Niotis family said that Badaloro had been stalking Maria for months and that they had reported his behavior to local police with no response. It goes on further to say, in a statement to Fox 5, the family said that this was, quote, "murder in the first degree," end quote, and that, quote, he had been plotting the attack for months, carried out this horrific attack, taking not only her life, but also Isabella's, end quote. So just for the timeline here, Charlie Kirk was assassinated about a month ago, and this kid had been stalking this girl in particular, Maria Niotis, for months. He had been planning this attack, according to her family, for months. And Isabella Salas happened to be somebody who was just caught in between all of this because she was with Maria when this all took place. But yes, go ahead and spin your narrative that this guy was a Charlie Kirk fan who killed both of these girls because one of them made a TikTok repost about Charlie Kirk's death, because that makes a lot of sense. What it really makes out is the idea that these people care far more about their narrative than the actual truth. And the actual truth here is that this is somebody who is stalking one girl in particular over months and months. This is a textbook stalker case, and instead of offering valuable education about stalking, instead of maybe calling out local law enforcement for not being on top of what was happening here, even though the family had reported it, you're deciding to spin a Republican/Trump voter violence story because you're uncomfortable with people talking about leftist violence in an age where it's happening more so than it is on the other side. When you see tweets or media references or posts by the Occupy Democrats that are saying that this is a Charlie Kirk fan who killed somebody who made fun of him, what you're actually watching is the death of these 2 young girls reduced down to a narrative that is false. You are taking the months of victimization that this young girl endured, you're taking the life of her best friend that just sort of hung in the balance of all this, and you are completely sweeping that under the rug. You're not allowing for valuable education to other young women who may be experiencing something like this. You are not allowing for law enforcement to be held accountable for not doing something when it comes to this young kid harassing this young woman, and you're not allowing for others to see the signs of when this could be happening in their lives. You are disrespecting the life of a young stalking victim in Maria Niotis. You are disrespecting the life of her best friend who was caught up in this entire horrific situation. You are disrespecting her family and the actual truth behind this story and what they will continue to endure on the other end of it. You are stopping people from getting to recognize the actual signs of a stalker that may go from these sort of sending pizza altercations to taking the lives of their victims. You are muddying the waters when it comes to facts and information, and you are proving to the entire world that you care care far more about propaganda, your own agenda, and your own narrative than you do about the actual truth. You don't care about the victim, seemingly. You don't care about justice, seemingly, because you would have looked into the story before just flippantly commenting on two people losing their lives. It seems like you care more about gaining political points over the deaths of two 17-year-old girls. And although it seems like the violence was not triggered by her comments on Charlie Kirk's death, guess what? You shouldn't send random pizzas to somebody's house over a comment they made about Charlie Kirk's death. So let's go ahead and condemn that act in case it's the only thing that you care about, and that would seem to be the case given what these people are tweeting. So there you guys go. Those are my thoughts on this particular story. I've seen it pop up on my timeline more than I can cite here, and it's really unfortunate that these two girls' lives are just being swung around in a sort of tennis match over politics online. But those are the facts that I found when looking into this. It's really unfortunate that people seem to value their agenda over the stories of what happened to these two girls. As far as Vincent Battloro is concerned, throw the book at him. And I would say the same thing if the deaths were motivated by what this girl had said about Charlie Kirk online. Throw the book at him. Quite frankly, put him under the jail. And lastly, if you truly value justice, if you value the lives of the victims and the stories that you're talking about, value them enough to actually look into the story, rather than seeing some post by a communist newspaper or Occupy Democrats and then running with a narrative online that then goes on to get millions of views, hundreds of thousands of retweets and likes, and then just goes on to spread falsehoods about a story that could very easily be cleared up with what, a 2-second Google search? Thanks. So guys, those are my thoughts. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, if you disagree with anything I said in this video, do get out, but do so respectfully. I encourage healthy debate on this channel. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys, which is every day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.